Third, repeated rapid patting. Think about the last time you raised your voice. Maybe it was an argument with someone on the phone. Maybe it was a moment of pure frustration. Something broke. Something went wrong. Traffic, work, the kind of stress that builds and builds until it escapes through your voice, without you even making a decision to let it. Maybe it was directed at your dog directly. Maybe it had nothing to do with them at all. Now think about where your dog was in that moment. Because here is what most people never consider. The second your voice rose, the exact second, something happened inside your dog's body. Something measurable, something real. A cascade of physiological events that most owners will never see, never know about, and never connect to the quiet behavioral changes they notice days or weeks later. This video is about that moment. The one you probably forgot. The one your dog didn't. Let's start with what happens in the first 2 seconds. The moment a human voice rises in volume, pitch, or intensity, a dog's auditory system processes it almost instantaneously, faster in fact, than human hearing processes the same sound. Dogs have approximately 18 muscles controlling each ear, compared to our 3. Their hearing range extends far beyond ours in both frequency and sensitivity. What this means in practical terms is that the moment your voice spikes, your dog hears it before you've even finished registering that you've raised it. In those first 2 seconds, the amygdala, the threat detection center of your dog's brain, fires. Not a slow, considered response, a reflexive one, an alarm. The same alarm that would fire if a predator appeared. The same alarm that would fire at the sound of a sudden crash or a thunderclap. In your dog's brain, a raised human voice, even a familiar one, even yours, registers as a potential threat signal before any other evaluation can occur, before they know it's you, before they know it's not aimed at them, before anything. In the next 30 seconds, the chemistry changes. Cortisol, the primary stress hormone, begins releasing into your dog's bloodstream. This is the same hormone that floods a human body during a panic attack, a near-miss car accident, or a moment of genuine fear. In dogs, cortisol doesn't spike and fall the way it does after a brief startle. Research has shown that once a cortisol response is triggered in dogs, elevated levels can remain in their system for anywhere from 25 minutes to over 72 hours, depending on the intensity and duration of the stressor. Let that settle for a moment. Your dog, in the 30 seconds after your voice rises, begins a hormonal process that will continue running through their body for potentially hours or days after the moment has passed, after you've already moved on, after you've forgotten it happened. Their heart rate increases, their blood pressure rises, their pupils dilate, their muscles prepare for fight or flight even as their body stays completely still. Because most dogs, especially with trusted owners, do not fight or flee. They freeze, they absorb, they wait. Now here's what breaks people when they really understand it. If the raised voice was not directed at your dog, if it was an argument with a partner, a shout at the television, a phone call that went badly, your dog still experienced all of this. Every single physiological event, every spike of cortisol, every moment of frozen, helpless waiting. They cannot distinguish between this anger is aimed at me and this anger exists in the room I'm in. What they can distinguish, with devastating accuracy, is emotional temperature. And when the emotional temperature of their environment rises suddenly, their nervous system responds as if danger has arrived. Because in their evolutionary history, sudden loud sounds and rising emotional energy almost always meant exactly that. Your home is your dog's entire world. It is their only world, and when that world becomes suddenly loud and charged and unpredictable, there is nowhere for them to go and nothing for them to do, except wait for it to become safe again. Let's talk about what you might see, and what you might not see. Some dogs make their stress obvious. They tremble, they hide, they pace. They seek physical contact, pressing against their owner's leg, trying to absorb safety through proximity. Others show almost nothing visible at all. They simply go still. They lie down. They look away, and many owners interpret this as the dog being unfazed, calm, unaffected, fine. But stillness in a dog is not always calm. There is a profound difference between a dog who is relaxed and a dog who has dissociated into a waiting state. A relaxed dog has loose muscles, a soft gaze, slow breathing, and an unfocused ease in their posture. A dog in a stress response who has gone still has a different quality to their stillness, a tightness in the jaw, a rigidity in the shoulder line, a breathing pattern that is slightly too controlled, slightly too measured. The eyes are the clearest tell. In genuine calm, a dog's eyes are soft and unfocused. In stress disguised as stillness, they are focused, tracking, reading, constantly monitoring the environment for the next signal. And then there are the changes that emerge later. Research on chronic stress in dogs has shown that repeated exposure to high emotional temperature environments, even without direct abuse or punishment, can produce lasting behavioral changes. Dogs who regularly absorb raised voices and tension in the home show higher baseline cortisol levels overall. They startle more easily. They take longer to settle after any disturbance. They show decreased confidence in new environments. Some develop what behaviorists describe as learned helplessness, a state in which a dog stops attempting to communicate distress entirely because experience has taught them that communication does not change what happens. This is the part no one talks about. Not the dramatic, visible cases of fear. The quiet ones. The dog who used to greet you at the door and now waits a room away. The dog who used to ask for affection and now simply accepts whatever is offered. The dog who has learned to make themselves small in a world that occasionally becomes very loud. So what do you do with this? First, understand that this isn't about perfection. You are human. You will lose your patience. You will have loud phone calls and stressful days, and moments where your voice goes where it didn't intend to. This is not a call for guilt. It is a call for repair. After a moment of heightened tension in your home, regardless of whether your dog was involved, check in with them, not with anxious, hovering energy that signals to them that something is wrong. With the deliberate, quiet calm of someone saying, "The storm has passed." Sit near them. Breathe slowly. Let your nervous system communicate to theirs that the environment is safe again. Dogs co-regulate. They borrow calm from the calm bodies around them. Being a calm body after a difficult moment is one of the most direct and powerful things you can offer. Second, notice the patterns. If your dog consistently disappears to another room during phone calls, or seeks hiding spots during arguments, or refuses to settle for long periods after tension in the home, that is data. That is your dog telling you, in the only language they have, that something in the environment is hard for them. And third, give your dog what they cannot give themselves: context. Not through words they don't understand, but through touch, through calm presence, through the steady repetition of, "I am here, you are safe, this home is yours." That message, delivered with a quiet hand and a steady exhale after every storm, eventually becomes something your dog can hold on to. A pattern of repair that teaches their nervous system that hard moments end, that safety returns, that the person they love most always comes back to them. Your dog has never blamed you for a single difficult moment. They have never held a grudge, never kept a score, never loved you less on the other side of a hard day. What they have done, quietly, without complaint, is absorb every environment you've created, good and difficult alike, and chosen to stay close regardless. That kind of love doesn't ask for perfection, but it does deserve awareness. And now you have it. You know this one.